Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today we want to look at the 2018 Stinger. It's called the Stinger Extreme from PSE. Now the Stinger is one of the biggest selling beginner level compound bows on the market. And what makes it one of the most biggest selling bows on the market is the adjustability in the way this bow shoots at its price point. At its price point, I would argue there is nothing to compete with this at all on the market. Now, the bow itself is adjustable in draw length from 21.5 to 30 inches with a rotating module, which is just basically there, two screws, and you just move the module and you also move the draw stop. Now the draw stop is what makes this bow better than anything else in its price point, because the other bows, the Hoyt Ignite, the Matthews, the Mission Craze, the Bear Cruiser, don't have draw stops. So you set the bow to the draw length and the bows basically are a little bit soft at the wall. This isn't. You pull it back and it comes to a dead draw stop. Now what also makes this bow a little bit unique is with all those bows I mentioned, the Cruiser, the Matthews, the Hoyt, any other brand with a cheap draw length, and that big draw length adjustment, the big draw length and big poundage adjustment, so they go from 70 pounds down to 20 pounds. As you decrease the draw length, you also decrease the poundage. So the bow's not a true 70 pound bow, it's 70 pounds at maximum draw length. So it's always been a bit confusing for me as a seller, actually what bow I'm selling. Now what made the 2017 and all the Stingers before this bow such a big seller, in my opinion, or it was for me anyway, as a shop, this is my biggest selling bow. The bow's very light, came in heaps of colours and comes in heaps of poundages. So it comes in 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds, and each bow had 20 pounds of adjustment. So I had a bow here to suit anyone. Now in the 2018 lineup, PSE basically is producing this bow in a 55 pound bow and a 70 pound bow. Now the advertising tag, which is just here, says the 70 pound bow will go down to 30 pounds and it says the 55 pound goes down to 22 pounds. Now I wanted to test that on this video straight up, because for me the previous Stinger and this Stinger are too similar to get that poundage adjustment. I can't even fathom how I go from a Stinger last year's model, which is 20 pounds adjustment, to this bow, which is, they're saying is 40 pounds adjustment. Now what you've got in this year is you've got a new limb pivot system just there, so you can see how much poundage adjustment you've got. So now you've got 15 full turns. Last year, or 2017, this bow's still not available yet. This bow has got 12, so 12 turns used to give us about 15 pounds. So one turn was a little bit over a pound adjustment. So I'm really interested to see what this bow does in poundage adjustment. So what we're going to do, I've got my Allen key, notice the big handle. We've got my Allen key, I've got a bow scale here. This is a 70 pound bow. We're going to wind this bow back and see what this bow winds back to. So I'm just going to count off the turns. So we're going to go 15 turns. So 7 turns. So I've got another 8 to go. That's 6. So that's 12 turns now. Now I haven't actually done this before. Now this is this there is the gap. You can still see you've got complete thread into the little bolt there. Now you can see the compression has really come off these limbs. So that's what the last year's model looked like. But you can still see there's still compression on the limbs. So even though we've taken off 15 turns, there's still a bit of tension there. Now what you also notice is as you take tension off, the gap here increases. And what I found when I was winding down the Chinese bows like the Mission Craze, and I'm not saying the Mission Craze is a Chinese bow, the bows like the Mission Craze, which are made in China, as you wind down the bow, the actual cable stop the string stop comes off the cable slide, so it's like, great. So yeah, so let's see what poundage this gets to. So this is a 70 pound bow with 15 turns off. Okay. That there, 42 pounds. Now that's set at 29 inches still. So 42 pounds at 29 inches. Now, the other adjustment you have on the Stinger is the grow with you setting here. So all you do, I'm hoping to zoom in, just there, all you do is you lift it off here and move it to inside the module. Now you've got to make sure the module, I'm hoping I can zoom in, the module, just inside there, there's a little gap between the module and the little cam. You've got to make sure that module, if you spin around the module, that gap disappears. So you've got to make sure that gap exists, and if it doesn't exist, you've just got to move the module so there is a gap. So what you do is you pull on the cable and then lift it up and basically lift it into the slot. So it's just moving into that slot there. What you're doing is making this yoke cable longer and basically reducing the tension on the strings. So it just clips in like so. So we were at 42 pounds. Now PSE say this goes to 30 pounds. Now in my experience, the 2017 model, doing that changed the bow poundage 5 pounds. So we're now at 36 pounds. So with the 2018 PSE Stinger, you get 35 pounds of adjustment. Now, so they're producing this bow in a 55 pounds and a 70 pounds. So that gives me, the 55 pound will go down to 20 pounds and the 70 pound will go down to 36 pounds. Now PSE is actually stating this bow goes to 30 pounds. Now my understanding is, my theory is that when I reduce the draw length of this bow, the poundage will actually drop. So let's just test that. So my theory is that this is kind of similar to a Mission Craze and all those other bows I mentioned, the Hoyt Ignite, where you basically, when you reduce the draw length, you actually reduce the poundage, and you do that because you're not levering the limbs as much. So let me grab a torque set and we'll just reduce. Now, why is this important? Now, why this is really important to me is a lot of my customers, especially customers buying this bow, can be kids who are going to grow up, and I've got kids who are my size or taller who aren't very strong, because this is their first bow, they have never shot before, they play computer games their whole life, and they need a light bow. So I had one in my shop yesterday, no disrespect to the boy, who was taller than me, so his draw length was 29.5, and he needed 26 pounds. That's what he needed to start at. So at 30 pounds, he couldn't draw back the bow. So 50 pound Stinger, he could not draw back. Now I'm going to set this right to P. So the 50 pound Stinger, he couldn't pull back. So basically then we had the choice of a 40 pound Stinger. Now the problem with a 40 pound Stinger is that once he starts shooting, he's going to gain strength, and that bow's going to outgrow him pretty quick. So ideally, if you could get to the 50 pound, it's going to last quite a while. Now I do want to show, now when you move to the P setting, you can see the little bolt falls behind the limb. I'm just going to show you how you make this adjustment. So this P setting should be at 21 inches. Now all you do to give yourself access to that bolt, hopefully I'm going to show it on camera, is we pull which one do I pull? Up. So all I'm doing is I'm grabbing that cable and I just pull on it, and so you can get access to that bolt. So I put my hand in the riser, thumb in there, and I just pull on that and get full access to that module and tighten it up like so. So you don't need a bow press. You might need a hand. It's pretty easy to do. Right. So we were at 36 pounds. So what I said to my sales rep, I don't know if that's fair to Jay, I said I think PSE made a mistake when they produced this bow at 55 pounds and 70 pounds. And I said because target archers generally want 60 pounds, so if this bow was 35 pounds adjustable, the 60 pound bow would be adjustable down to 25, which would be perfect, be great. The 50 pound bow would go down to 15, which would be perfect for kids. But PSE chose to do 55 and 70. Now their reasoning for that would be you don't need to stock as many bows, and this bow in 2018 is going to come in white, green. This is the Cryptek camo. It's going to come in mossy oak camo. It's going to come in black, and I think it may even come in a grey in 2018 as well. So as a shop, you've got to stock 50 pound, 60 pound, 70 pound in the different colours in right and left-handed. Too much stock to carry for a small archery shop. So I currently hold stock, let's say 100 stingers. Now a small shop is not going to stock around 100 stingers. And that's why they would have reduced the poundage options. Oh, yeah. Okay. So at 21 inch draw length, this bow is now 26 pounds. And that's one of the problems with the bows. When you set the poundage is not at that draw length. So when PSE published this bow as adjustable between 70 and 30 pounds, it actually is adjustable between 26 and 70 pounds. The 26 pounds is at the 21 inch draw length. So I got thinking about this last night because I was a bit worried about the Stinger, because I had the customer in my shop on that day who couldn't draw back the 50 pound Stinger, and I was thinking, I'm stuck. As a shop owner, I'm stuck. Because I'm always going to have these kids coming in my shop who are going to start at 20 pounds. They're generally going to be about a 12, 13-year-old kid. And they're going to start at 20 and they're going to work their way up. And I'm going to have ladies who started around 20 pounds and work their way up. And I'm going to be stuffed with the 55 pound bow. So I thought, how can I fix this? And I got thinking, and I'm going to do a video on this. I got thinking, well, moving it from there to there, from that spot to that spot, reduces the pounds by 5 pounds. I think in this case it reduced it a little bit more, 6 pounds. So there's been a bow produced before by Martin Archery, which was a single cam bow similar to this, which I thought when I did the review 2 years ago rivaled the Stinger in shootability for the price. So when you shoot both bows up against one another, I figured it was a pretty similar bow to shoot and maybe superior to the Stinger to shoot, which was called the Martin Krypton with a single cam. It had a single cam system like the PSE, it had adjustability like the PSE, and it had a limb stop on the bottom cam. Now what that bow had, which was really clever, was the bus cable or the yoke cable, you basically adjusted the length, the same as on the PSE, to adjust the poundage. So you had 3 settings on that, on the yoke cam. And each one, so you had a -1, which was minus 10 pounds, -2, which was minus 20 pounds. And then I think you had a -3 as well. I'm pretty sure it was -3. So you had standard, -10, -20. Anyway, so a 70-pound bow got to -3. So a 70-pound bow became a 40-pound bow just by changing that cable position. And I thought to myself, brain, what happens if I made a yoke cable 1/2 inch longer for the Stinger? What would happen would be this cam would be slightly advanced here, so it would look like, sorry, I have to pull on it, it would look like that. It would be fractionally advanced and you'll drop the poundage. So for a shop and for a customer, because a lot of my customers, and I'm not talking about regular, the regular guy comes in who wants a bow, it's not going to be an issue, a 20-pound bow. But a lot of my regular new archers who want a bow, I needed 20 pounds. And I thought if I made a yoke cable 1/2 inch longer, the 55-pound bow would go down to the 20-pound bow. Now we've just seen that this bow will go from 70 to 35, which 70 to 35 means the 55-pound bow will go to 20. So maybe I don't need that. Now changing the yoke cable also does decrease the size of the let off. Sorry, this does decrease the size of the draw length. So each one of those -1s decreased your draw length by 1 inch. So on the PSE here, when you move from the growth to the performance setting, it's probably less than 1/2 inch, 5 pounds instead of 10 pounds like the Martin did. It's probably about 1/2 inch shortening your draw length. You probably won't notice it. And you've got full adjustability here anyway. But anyway, it's something to think about when you're looking at a new bow. When you're looking at a new bow, to me it's kind of simple now. 55 pounds is for people who don't want 70 pounds. And then 70 pounds is for someone who wants to hunt, who can wind the bow right down to 35 pounds. So the Stinger now, in my opinion, for 2018 is improved on the 2017 version because it has the new limb pockets providing more adjustability. Comes in new camos. I think the riser looks a little bit sharper than the 2017 model. They've got rid of the little plastic grips on the side, which was just a look feature. They've got rid of the plastic Stinger sticker in the middle, which to me doesn't detract from the overall look. To me, the limb graphics are better on the 2018 model than the 2017. The 2018 system has a pocket system which holds the limbs. The 2017 system, the limbs are actually held in by the riser. You can see the casting there, which they are still on this, but it's a complete limb pocket design. So they've kind of changed this limb pocket. So to me, what it's like the 2018 PSE machine limb pockets on the expensive bows, and what they've done is they've built it in the cheaper limb pocket design. So it looks like an expensive limb pocket design. So you could say that's improved. So they've improved the cable, the string stop. There is now carbon, so that's been improved. they've changed the cable guard from being a clamp to being this. Whether that's an improvement or actually a downgrade, that's questionable. But I think the bow looks pretty good. Now, what I will say about the Stingers is you see these bows being shot at state tournaments. And when I say state tournaments, so if I take the other bows, and in your state you may see the other bows being shot at state tournaments, the Craze, the Cruiser, the Hoyt Ruckus, I see people shooting huge scores with these bows. Like on the weekend, the state target championships, there was a young man from the country area who shot a junior who shot, I think, close to 100 rating, which is not quite as good as what I shoot. But I have a $3,000 setup. He has a $800 setup. I shoot a lot more than he does. I can guarantee it. But that is a huge score. It's a huge score in any stretch of the imagination. And there's a whole bunch of people shooting huge scores with this bow. 30 inches axle, so it is short for target shooting. It's right at the size for recreational shooting, 30 inches. So when I say recreational, 30 inches would be a preferred size for a hunter. Compact, great size for kids. The bow's not physically too heavy. It feels heavier than last year, but I'm pretty sure it's still 3 point. It's not on the sticker, but I'm pretty sure it's still about 3.2 in weight. And lucky I've got a scale. Now, it's 4.2 pounds with everything on this, which is the sight and the ROS. So I think it comes in at about 3.7, 3.6 pounds. So it's still on the lighter end of the scale as far as bows. There's not that many bows under 4 pounds. So just a perfect bow for beginners to get into the sport and to do it well. Now, cheaper options than a Stinger would be your Chinese models. And like I said, the Chinese models or the home brand, you can brand your own product. Because some people say, oh, how about this brand? If you look it up, it's actually a brand which doesn't exist. Some people brand the Chinese models. I'm not knocking the Chinese. They do have a few issues as far as quality is concerned, as getting things correct because they're kind of new to it. And they haven't done the research. PSE, these limbs on this bow are the same as what's used on the PSE $2,000 bows. These are your good and glass compression limbs. It's, this bow has been, I'm going to say, run through the ringers through time, and they've gone through so much testing to produce this bow and to get it, or just to get it to be where it is as far as the quality. And when I say quality, I sell 700 Stingers a year. I had no limb failures. I have had one riser failure in... I've been selling Stingers since the day they were made. I've had one riser fail since I've been selling. I guess I've been selling them for probably 10, 12 years. So I've had one riser fail. Limbs, I cannot recall a Stinger ever failing on limbs. The cams, I cannot recall a cam failing, but I'm sure there has been. So to me, they are just a rock solid bow, and the performance is outstanding. So I think I've pretty much covered everything on the Stinger. So 2018, an improvement from the 2017. Price point the same as the 2017. When's this bow going to be available? I think PSE is about to ship them now. In Australia, you're going to see them around Christmas time. So I think my shipment is leaving PSE this week. It'll take about 4 or 5 weeks to get here. Now, is it a big difference from the 2017 as far as shootability? It's going to shoot the same as 30 inch, same cams, same limbs. It's going to shoot the same. So, would I be concerned? Would I be holding off for a 2018? Not really. There's no real reason for it. Would you like to get the 2017 cheaper than the 2018? Absolutely, and you'll probably see dealers will be discounting the 2017s for the 2018s coming, but I mean, it costs the same. So, yeah, pretty good pretty good bow. Now this is a Stinger Rts Pro Kit from PSE, which I just want to run through. Features the micro adjustment PSE sight, which is a good sight system. Micro adjustment up and down, left and right. Good fiber optic pin system. Doesn't come with a light. They did fit a new Peep Sight to it finally, because the 2017 Peep in the Stinger was terrible. It was like a horizontal Peep, which I just hate. This is the system to go for. It's good. This is the PSE drop-away RS, which works really well. My son used it for many years. Very simple. You have to tie this cable on to the cable that moves downwards, and you want this to be in full upwards position at just before you hit your draw length adjustment. So there is a little bit of fiddling to get the drop away correct, but it is a good system. Is the drop away going to be better than a whisker biscuit? I think it's much of a muchness. Some people prefer drop aways just because of there's no wear factor. It's simple, the arrow gives complete clearance. But overall, I'm very happy that I've got the adjustment from 70 pounds down to 35, and at the shorter draw length, you are dropping back to the 26 pounds. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, PSE. As far as customer service goes, I kind of rabbit on about it a lot, but it's really important to me. And it's really important when a customer has a problem that it gets sorted. PSE is really, really good at sorting out problems. The serial number for the bow is stamped on the side there of the riser. So when you have a problem with a PSE, if you have a problem with a PSE, you always quote the serial number. It tells PSE where that bow was sold. It tells PSE who the bow was sold to, and also what you've had done to this bow in history. So when customers ring up with me and they've, let's say, broken a limb, or they've dry fired their bow and broken cams, I always ask for the serial number, and I say, what's your serial number? And then I report the serial number to PSE and I say, this is the part I need for this bow, and that's recorded. And if I've got to go and check when that part is due, I just say, here's the bow number XYZ, and PSE will say that part was ordered on this date. It's currently so far in the process, they're up to anodizing, or it's been made, it's sitting there waiting to ship. And that's recorded on their log basically forever. So for me, it's a really good system. It's probably a bit annoying for customers, because if you look at my reviews, you'll see a review from a customer who bags me. Because he said, mate, where's my cam? In an email. Mate, where's my cam? Okay. Anyway, I said in the email back, I said, look, can you just tell me what your bow, when you ordered it, what your bow serial number is, what it relates to, so that I recall. Now, generally customers get annoyed with me because they're like, man, you should remember my cam. And you know what? I can't. They go, you're an idiot. It's like, yes, I am. I'm an idiot. It's because you've got so many bows going in, going out. You're on the phone all day. Literally, we process about 70 orders a day, and I'm not making an excuse for anything. I stick up all my warranty claims on the wall. And I tell people, ring me back and let me know. And all I do is when I get that email through, I just drop PSE a line and say, hi, can you tell me where the parts are for the boat? Now, his actual cams were in stock. And he actually dropped his bow and broke the cams, so it wasn't a warranty. So we charged him $100 for the cams for his bow. And then he proceeded to say they were second-hand, and I said, I'll give you money back. Send me back the cams and I'll give you money back. And he goes, no, mate, I'm not doing that. So he drops a bad review on me. Thank you. You serve customers all day long. You spend hours with them, showing them how to shoot, setting up their bow, getting them to shoot good. The guy drops his bow and drops a lot of crap on you. Anyway, they're generally pretty good. In one of my other reviews, we've dropped the Expedite, the new 2018 bow, which is a really funny story. We've actually dropped it, and it's fine. It's fine. And I'll tell you about it when I do the review on the Expedite. So what I'm going to do on another review of the Stinger, I'm going to set this bow up, and we're going to go and shoot some target, and I'll probably shoot it back out to 50 meters, and we'll see how well I shoot with it at 50 meters, because I really like the PSE Stinger. It's one of my favorite bows. As far as price point, I don't think there's anything on the market even close to it. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Enjoy your archery. The more you shoot, the better you'll shoot, and the more you'll enjoy it. And it can be a pain. I was up shooting this morning really early. I'll go home after this. I'll shoot, and I'll shoot after dinner. And your muscles will hurt, but hopefully at the end of the day, you do shoot better, and you go, do you know what? The work pays off. So enjoy archery, and thank you for watching. Bye.